So welcome again. It's Stephen. I thought I would do a little bit more explanation on this the physics things that I've been continuing to talk about. Um, Maybe take a little step back and in this case. So I've always been interested in science. I've followed the science. My father and my brother are both physicists, and though I'm not, it's rubbed off, and it's been sort of a lifelong study for me. I keep up with it, and it's really, I think, an exciting time in physics. I think that while there haven't been any really major breakthroughs in sort of pure physics in a while, maybe you could argue in 40 or 50, 40 years, 30 years. Some people would argue since Einstein, 100 years, 105 years or something. While there haven't been any major breakthroughs, there has been, I think, a winnowing of what can be and what can't be. So though we don't know what is really going on, say in the quantum world, we do know more about what it can't be. It's sort of like in the Orthodox Church, one of the ways we look at understanding God, since it's not comprehensible. It's not comprehensible to us in its entirety at once. We see glimpses of pieces, right? So, but part of the history of the theology is that there's this idea of apophatic. Apophatic meaning you can't know, and that you describe things by what they aren't rather than by what they are. So you might say that St. Augustine leads to a line of thought that's more cataphatic, that ends up, 1,000 years later with Aquinas. Definitely, we can understand more than we think we can. We have a cataphatic understanding, but the Orthodox Church is very skeptical about that. We can see glimpses, but we can't see it in the way that we can see it more in an apophatic way. We know more about what it is by what it isn't. So science is doing that right now in the quantum. We're winnowing out the ideas about the quantum that aren't that can't be possible. That can't be the way that things are. And though how the quantum world leads to the world we live in, which is this thermodynamic Newtonian, universe that we do things in. We don't know how our very workable universe that technology has proven we can do a lot in. We don't know how the quantum underlayment of that world is connected. We know more and more about how it's not connected. We know it's more about apophatic. So when I came to the Orthodox Church, I think one of the reasons I had such an easy time in it is because it's sort of getting at the base reality of God in the same way that science has been doing, and rather than positing this will be the key to solving it, which scientists may be doing sort of to get funding for their projects. It's hard to say, well, my project will prove that this isn't so, is not as an enticing a way to get funding as my project will show this, right? So but I think that science is at this apophatic state of examining the base reality of the quantum world in the same way that the Orthodox Church examines the reality of God in an apophatic way. We understand by what we know He's not more than we can understand directly what He is. And I think so. I hope that might see more of the of why the seamless transition I had from sort of this science loving person to an Orthodox loving person, and seeing the connection of the two is like they're talking about the same thing. And my it was only 3 years ago that I 3 years ago I had no inkling of Christianity at all, and wasn't really looking for it. 2 years ago, an inkling. A year ago, I'm a catechumen, and 7 months ago I'm baptized. But now, fully back, re-energized in the examination of the physical universe the way that I was before, through this scientific method that's that, as I say, is right now coming to the same sort of conclusions that the church is. Although, science is, I think, still thinks that they might be able to crack it, but there's a lot of science that says we're just never going to know this thing. We're going to know what it isn't, but because in the quantum world that we as observers are entangled in the universe, in the experiment, so to speak. Any experiment that we do in the quantum world, we are a part of. We can't exclude ourselves. So we can't have an objective view. We're always being subjective. It's very difficult to figure out how we would ever get around that. It's the observer problem in physics. And so I think physics is slowly coming to the conclusion we're just going to have to do this apophatic approach to the ultimate reality. In the same way that the Orthodox Church concluded that, 1,500 years ago. But of course, in very, very different ways. It's just interesting to see the convergence of the two. So, thank you.